game's last stand. We're chasing truth with controller in hand. Faith, adventure, stories untold. First responder, hearts brave and bold. Beyond the quest, where the journeys meet, from the fires of life to the gaming heat. Slim Chomp's crew, come join the ride, with McMedic, Napkins, and Taco as your guide. Beyond the quest, where the journeys meet, from the fires of life to the gaming heat. Slim Chomp's crew, come join the ride, with McMedic, Napkins, and Taco as your guide. Beyond the quest, where the stories grow, faith, fire, and games in the world we know. Adventure calls, the table is set, let's take the leap, our best quest yet. From the first light to the game's last stand, we're chasing truth with controller in hand. Faith, adventure, stories untold. First responder, hearts brave and bold. Beyond the quest, where the journeys meet, from the fires of life to the gaming heat. Slim Chomp's crew, come join the ride, with McMedic, Napkins, and Taco as your guide. Beyond the quest, where the journeys meet, from the fires of life to the gaming heat. Slim Chomp's crew, come join the ride, with McMedic, Napkins, and Taco as your guide. Beyond the quest, where the stories grow, faith, fire, and games in the world we know. Adventure calls, the table is set, let's take the leap, our best quest yet. From the first light to the game's last stand, we're chasing truth with controller in hand. Faith, adventure, stories untold. First responder, hearts brave and bold. Beyond the quest, where the journeys meet, from the fires of life to the gaming heat. Slim Chomp's crew, come join the ride, with McMedic, Napkins, and Taco as your guide. Beyond the quest, where the journeys meet, from the fires of life to the gaming heat. Slim Chomp's crew, come join the ride, with McMedic, Napkins, and Taco as your guide. Beyond the quest, where the stories grow, faith, fire, and games in the world we know. Adventure calls, the table is set, let's take the leap, our best quest yet. From the first light to the game's last stand, we're chasing truth with controller in hand. Faith, adventure, stories untold. First responder, hearts brave and bold. Beyond the quest, where the journeys meet, from the fires of life to the gaming heat. Slim Chomp's crew, come join the ride, with McMedic, Napkins, and Taco as your guide. Beyond the quest, where the journeys meet, from the fires of life to the gaming heat. Slim Chomp's crew, come join the ride, with McMedic, Napkins, and Taco as your guide. Beyond the quest, where the stories grow, faith, fire, and games in the world we know. Adventure calls, the table is set, let's take the leap, our best quest yet. From the first light to the game's last stand, we're chasing truth with controller in hand. Faith, adventure, stories untold. First responder, hearts brave and bold. Beyond the quest, where the journeys meet, from the fires of life to the gaming heat.
The following
Slim
episode of
Chomp's
Beyond
crew,
the Quest
come
is
join
recorded
the
live
ride,
and is
with
presented
McMedic, Napkins, and Taco as your
You're hearing it exactly as it
guide.
happened. Raw, real, and as such,
Beyond the
technical
quest,
hiccups
where the
or
journeys
spontaneous
meet,
conversations.
from the fires of
You're
life
going to
to
hear
the
from real
gaming
life
heat.
first responders and
Slim
people of
Chomp's
this
crew,
country.
come join the
The views and
ride,
opinions
with
expressed
McMedic,
by the host and
Napkins, and
guests are their
Taco
own
as your
and do not
guide.
necessarily reflect those of our sponsors.
and games in the world we
Thank you for joining
know.
us on this journey.
Adventure
Sit.
calls, the table is set. Let's take the leap, our best quest yet.
Good morning, peoples.
Morning, y'all.
Why is my
Morning,
chat not
everybody.
showing? Chat's not showing.
This is the first episode we're attempting under Streamlabs. I don't know about you two, but I'm still having a few issues trying to work it properly. But so far,
You can't
I've
help it,
found
you're a
more to
ding dong.
like. Well, I was saying so far, I've found more to like about it than I thought I would.
Still a ding dong. Woot.
My biggest complaint is
Streamlabs.
I can't figure out
Boom. There's the
multi-chats for other streams. You know, where I broadcast to multiple platforms.
Oh, I got it to work. It couldn't, when I done it, it wouldn't let me type in my chat.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that so much. I just can't get it to
Wait,
pull up the chat
Streamlabs!
from the other
Morning,
streams.
Faith! Yeah, you just connect it all on your dashboard, and when you actually hit the go live button, it lets you toggle where you want to go live at. And there's even an option on there for YouTube. You can hit at the top, and if you stream to TikTok, it will automatically put your stream in a vertical format.
I've got it streaming to TikTok, Twitch, Travo, which apparently is a new one, and Kick. But the only chat it shows me is Twitch.
On your chat spot on your thingy over there, when you're multi-streaming, if you have, if it's set up right, then there's where your primary chat is, which would be Twitch, where you can hit multi-stream, multi-stream chat, and it's supposed to bring them all there.
We'll try that today and see if it works. So far, it's now showing me the Twitch chat. It wasn't before, we actually went fully live here.
Boom, boom, boom. Whoa, why do I have two chats going?
That's the reason I don't have TikTok linked right now, because I couldn't figure out how to get the chat up.
You didn't have your chat on?
I had Twitch chat, but I didn't know that the TikTok chat would come through there as well.
Apparently. Well, I know YouTube does, and Twitch. Kick does not. It's not integrated with Kick. You have to, if you do Kick, you have to pop that out separate on like a browser and pull it over. Other than that, I don't know about TikTok. I've been trying to dive into the Streamlabs and learn it. I heard a lot of reviews on it saying how it's more user friendly and like an all-in-one type deal. And then I heard some reviews saying that if you're somebody that has used OBS before, then you would want to do the Streamlabs OBS. But now that I'm kind of figuring this one out, I'm kind of liking it. I just got to figure out how to get everything on my Stream Deck. Because these buttons are so small.
I can help you with that. It's super easy.
By the way,
It took me a ridiculously long time to figure out how to fix the game capture and the camera capture when I was first setting this up. Thank you, McMedic, for helping me solve all that, because I was completely illiterate with this program.
no problem. You can get a hold of McMedic right here.
Yeah, that's an awfully fancy shirt there.
That I've been pointing at, waiting on Napkins to say something about.
Looks good, broski.
In case anybody was wondering, we do have the, it's got the Angry Vet Nation, proudly sponsored by, on this sleeve. It's got the Frontline Faithwear on this sleeve. SCG Slim Chance Gaming. And then, if I can get it off here without killing myself. Yeah. Oh, there with the hat. Check this out, boys. Boom.
Oh, nice.
Beyond the Quest. The first Beyond the Quest t-shirt.
So the only thing it's missing for that to actually work as a
Boom.
gaming jersey as well is your
Boom.
name.
Ain't that dope?
It is pretty nice.
Actually, instead of like a gaming jersey, I made that shirt to show off and say, first of all, I hope it's okay I put proudly sponsored by Angry Vet Nation on here, Vet. If not, this is just a one of a kind. Ignore it. But if that is okie dokie that we done that, anybody that would like to purchase a Slim Chance Gaming Beyond the Quest t-shirt, until the Faith Frontwear website is up and going, you can get a hold of me or Napkins and put an order in. Just keep in mind this the SCG that is in this, or no, the Beyond the Quest. The lettering on Beyond the Quest is the color of the shirt you pick. And boom, check
And
that
it
out.
figures that Moonpie's not here because I just now got the email that his application is officially processing.
Oh.
Of course, he's probably still asleep.
But he will be here tomorrow to start Beyond the Brokenness.
He better be.
Which,
You like
I hope
that shirt?
everyone's excited.
Huh? Anybody like that shirt? Anybody in chat? Don't worry.
Okay, so yeah, it is showing me a chat from TikTok. It doesn't give me their name. They ask what we're doing. We're making a new episode of Beyond the Quest.
Hey, podcast, where we talk about anything and everything. I love it. Yeah, I answered my own thing in chat. I'm that guy.
That's why you were upset that you couldn't reply in the chat at the time.
Of course. Yeah, I'm pretty happy about that. Anyways, so how are y'all liking the Streamlabs?
So far, I don't mind it, as long as I can continue to figure things out.
You gotta learn your own softwares. YouTube is my best friend.
Yeah, I spent hours the other day after my first stream on Streamlabs trying to solve this multi-chat thing, and at least now it seems to be working, so maybe I did do everything right and I just didn't realize it.
Personally, I dig it.
I think it's pretty daggone awesome. Especially I like their overlay themed library thing.
Yeah, I don't have very much of it figured out yet, but what I do have figured out, I like it. I feel like it seems to run a lot smoother. It's not as glitchy or buggy. As you guys know, of all of us, I have the best internet, but I was having some serious lag issues with my streams with our previous provider. Not to out any companies, I'm not gonna say, but this one definitely seems to be a whole lot more smooth.
I wish my internet provider was.
Shout out to Angry Vet Nation for making it all possible.
And then the only other thing I haven't figured out on it is so a lot of those themes you can it's set up for, it's supposed to automatically pull in like your recent followers and things. I don't know if that updates and stays up to date or if you have to change it all the time.
From what I could tell, it didn't update based on anything before I started streaming through Streamlabs, but I did notice afterward it was showing me some new followers.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. Whenever I first put the follower count on mine, I had to put in my current followers, but after that, anybody that's followed me since I've been using Streamlabs, it has picked up.
Put a follower count? What are you talking about, Willis?
Yeah, I didn't do a follower count or anything. Mine was just new follows. It shows them.
Oh, mine is I have like a follower goal similar
your
to
goal,
what you have on the screen, and I had to put in my current follow count whenever I first put it on my stream, and after that, it's updated automatically.
Interesting. A huge shout out to Angry Vet Nation for resubbing. Awesome sauce.
Yep.
That's 4 months in a row, y'all.
And before we really dive into anything today, a quick reminder about what the first episode of Beyond the Brokenness is going to cover tomorrow. We're going to talk about what the Bible actually is, how it's different from other religious works, and try and give you all some hopefully helpful advice on how to study it.
It shall be fun. Anyways, so what's new in your all's worlds?
I was out until after 10:30 with Dado at the ER because he's still too stubborn for his own good and refused to admit that he needed to see the doctor for pneumonia-like symptoms for a month.
You have that on in
Just
big
throw
jobs,
them out.
right? I was doing
I don't know
this.
me.
Me and the wife made a total of 7 shirts and 2 hoodies yesterday evening. Wowza. But we're starting to get the hang of it.
Nice. I think I just realized that I missed an appointment.
Way to go,
You just
you.
now realized it?
Yeah,
Way to
I have
go.
some papers on my desk, and I was looking through them.
When was the appointment you missed?
The 22nd.
A little late
So
on that,
almost
bub.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
A little late on that.
Wow.
Yeah, a little bit. Why is it picking me up? Am I echoing on anybody else?
No.
Nope.
Hmm.
Are you using the mixer?
Yeah, every
Because
time
we had an issue with that before. You said you couldn't.
mix. Oh no. I had to quit using the mixer.
Oh.
But for some reason, do you remember whenever we first started using this um, recording software for the podcast,
Uh huh.
and we were having the issues where it was like saying we were talking whenever we wasn't talking?
Yes.
It's kind of doing that.
Oh. It'd be alright.
Yes, Faith. His appointment was on the 22nd, and he didn't realize it until today, the 5th.
You know what? Jesus loves you all, and I do too.
Good answer. Better my answer the other day while I was streaming. Faith was making fun of me.
You know, that response, Napkins, it kind of took me back to way back in our high school days. A buddy of ours we used to play Call of Duty World at War with. Do you remember this, Medic? God bless you with a big hand.
Yeah. Oh, Cheerio.
I
I
miss
think I
that
might have
guy.
fixed it.
Did you fix
I did.
it?
Wait.
Look. Yeah.
Hang
Wait.
on. Stop talking. Hello. Yeah, I fixed it.
Whoa. Such a Chad moment.
For some reason, I have like 15
How does that make you
audio
feel?
sources.
How does it make you feel?
Wow.
To make you feel like a big boy? To have a Chad moment?
Makes me feel like Chad. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I haven't seen Chad in chat. Is he here today?
I've not seen him pop in chat.
Nope. Not seen Vet pop up yet either. Though Amy is here under Angry Vet Nation.
I always get them confused. That was Amy the whole time! Anyways. Ba-da-ba-bum. Anything on the brains before we dive into get through all questions? They're in a meeting.
Ah.
Oh.
I see, said the blind man.
To his deaf sister!
Nope. I don't think so. I don't think I got anything this morning. Nothing burning the brain
Yet.
yet.
Where's Moon Pie? Did I miss that? Moon Pie's not coming this morning. He said he had
He is traveling.
to Tulsa.
Yeah, for apparently a day trip, from what I gathered from him.
Said he
They
had to
have
go to
there for a
Tulsa.
little while.
He told him he was going to go in the morning so that he would be back tomorrow to do Beyond the Brokenness. Said he was going to be on his phone listening and watching and chatting, but now we see that he's big oh doo-doo liar face.
Well, we have to keep in mind he still doesn't understand the concept of time zones.
But he knows when we start.
I think they might be moving base camp, but I'm not sure.
Base camp?
Or camper.
I think that's in Ohio.
Are you sure?
Yeah, he had it at a church in Ohio.
I know
Well, no,
that there's.
not the camper.
He
They have
he
the,
told me the other day that he still has to move the entire camper and then unload everything that they just took from a storage unit down here,
yeah,
back up to bring back down to the storage unit down here. So he's in a
yeah,
big
they,
mess.
It
I know
was
that
the
there's a
tent
horse
trailer.
trailer. There's a horse trailer somewhere that's in.
Yeah, that's the tent
There's a
trailer.
horse
He
trailer
said
somewhere.
They had to move it. They have the camper, I believe, because that's what they were using when they first went out to Oklahoma.
All I know is he reached out to me and said, "Hey, I need to move a horse trailer," and I said, "I got you." And
Yeah, that's the tent trailer.
I'm working on it.
How are you working on it? You drive a little white car.
The exact opposite of what you need to move a horse trailer.
Do you remember our cousin Braylon?
Wait, since when can Braylon haul a trailer?
That's what he does. He owns a
didn't know
junkyard
that.
and hot shot business where they go get stuff with gooseneck trailers and all that stuff and transport it.
Yeah, I was not aware of this.
Yeah, he's supposed to use his
Which
dually and go get it.
He's
I don't know
got
how
a
that's,
dually.
in case you've not been updated on Uncle Larry, I don't know how any of that will affect on how soon he can do that.
No, different Braylon.
Different Braylon.
Yeah, Brad's
Brad's
Braylon.
oldest.
Brad's Braylon does that?
Yes.
Yeah, my brain cannot comprehend that either.
No way.
The other
Yep.
Braylon is like, what, 16, 17?
Something like that.
He's in high school still.
The other. Wait, hold up. Brad's Braylon.
He's actually like
Hauls
23,
things.
24.
Yes, he owns his own business, and from my understanding, he makes bank at it. And
Well, I know
He's-
somebody around here that does it, that they make bank.
he's who we were gonna have move it before the Moon Pies found somebody else to do it. And then whenever all this happened, he messaged me. He said, "Hey, can you still get a hold of him?" I said, "Yeah, I got him on Snap." He said, "Can you get a hold of him and see what he would charge?"
Got him on
And
Snap.
we were a little dumbfounded at the price he
Hashtag
quoted.
Snapchat.
But he said he would get it this week. I'm just waiting on a specific day.
Ah, I see.
But I don't know how he's going to make much more than his gas money with the price he quoted. But we ain't arguing.
Man, it's family discount.
Yeah.
Even though I ain't talked to him in years.
Yeah, I've not seen or talked to him in a very long time. I know
He's
right after he graduated, he came down and visited Mama out of the blue, and nobody knew about it. Like, he literally
Yeah,
showed up
he's,
for a couple hours and then disappeared.
he's married and has kids now.
He's married.
Yep.
Where have I been this whole time?
I was not aware of that either.
That's badonkers.
Welcome to Beyond the Quest, where you find out about our family at the same time we find out about our family.
Crazy. Crazy. Taco, you got anything on your brain before we jump into questions?
I'm not really. I finally looked up the updated stream stats from this weekend's streams, and I went backwards on average viewers.
Wah, wah, wah. Morning, Vet.
How are you, Vet?
Did you see this, Vet? Did you see this? It's just proudly sponsored by Angry Vet Nation. Boom, boom, boom. says Beyond the Quest on the back. Sure do. Anyway.
Anywho, I hear that we've got some Questers questions today that should be interesting.
I'm going to.
I love you too!
Sorry, that threw me through a loop.
I'm not correcting that. I'm sticking with you.
You may have meant love it, but we prefer love you.
I was getting ready to switch tabs, and I seen that chat, and I was like, "Wait a minute, did I read that right?"
Oh, that's
That
great.
was good. All right, so I got a disclaimer.
He's got a disclaimer. He loves disclaimers.
Some of y'all are probably gonna get a little upset with us this morning, and that's okay. I
Oh,
want to make something 110% clear.
okay.
When we say that we will read every email we get, whether it be good, bad, or ugly, we mean it, even if you are trying to be a troll. But
Uh-oh.
for our actual listeners out there that actually enjoy the show and are not trying to be jerks, they understand this. But for everybody that doesn't, let me lay it out to you.
Vet
email
loves
us-
me and not you.
People email us and they submit these questions because they want our 2 cents. It doesn't matter what it is, they want to know our 2 cents. We're not getting out here and we're not saying people should do this or shouldn't do that because they're going to split Hell's Gates wide open. We're not saying that they should listen to these people or shouldn't listen to these people. We're giving our input and our opinion only. Solely our opinion. That is in the disclaimer at the beginning of this show.
He's triggered.
With all that out of the way,
He's triggered.
let's start down this rabbit hole.
Yay! What time is it?
It's adventure time.
For Questers questions.
I
Or
feel
that.
like we need to rename the segment to Questers Hate, but here we go.
Oh boy. I'm ready
Pickle
for it.
Punch addresses this to McMedic
Pickle punch!
on Spotify in Georgia. And they say, seems a little hypocritical to say for all these people to stop telling everyone what they can and cannot do, but seems like that's a lot of how your answers come across on things as well.
Do it.
Yeah, I think this person's reaching and reading into things because they don't like the answers.
I'm gonna say, if you think all the answers come across as maybe I should or shouldn't do that, maybe you're feeling conviction over something. And you should take a look in the mirror, Pickle Punch.
And I'm going to say this. We never said that you couldn't get out and watch Jordan Riley's videos or whatever that other
Or
dude's
Alan
name's
Park.
videos.
Yeah, just
we
don't
never
do
said
it.
you couldn't watch them. We said take them with a grain of salt. Just
Yeah.
because somebody on the internet says you shouldn't listen to Brandon Lake or you're going to go to hell doesn't mean it's true.
Right?
Yeah,
We never
Napkins
said
is
don't.
fired up.
We never said don't listen to them. Just don't do it.
I have read these questions like 4 times, and every time I read them, I get a little bit more upset.
I
So,
know. It's like I can see your hair growing.
This next one is a little bit more lighthearted, and it's addressed to everyone, and it's from Angry Goldfish. who
Not the
listens
angry
from-
goldfish.
He listens from Canada. And he
Another
says,
Canadian.
when you guys say faith-based, quotations, do you mean, quotation, we have faith that the equipment will work this time? Hashtag Moon Pie Tech problem.
You know, fair enough.
That's
There might
part
be a
of
bit
it.
of that.
That's going to be part of it. I guarantee it.
Oh yeah.
Ask Napkins. If Moon Pie is in a show, I guarantee that he's praying that there's not gonna be tech problems. Let's see, there was one episode, it was 45 minutes of getting him on?
Yep.
And then there was another one that that was probably an hour and a half.
We've had one episode that he's been on that everything went perfect, and he was actually early for, and that's been it. And he's been on here 6, 7 times now.
I'm like,
Something like that.
all right. Moving right along. This next one comes from Delta Mist in Mississippi.
The
And he
Delta
addresses this
Mist.
to McMedic.
Wait, is that the first one from Mississippi?
I believe so.
Mississippi.
He says, McMedic, how does it feel to give boomer energy even when you're trying to sound
Bruh. Bruh. Listen. Just because you're beta and I'm alpha, okay? Skibbity doo doo what?
good?
POV. That's what I meant. I couldn't remember the words. Listen, let me cook. That's sus, okay? Okay, whatever your name was from Mississippi, that's sus.
Delta Mist, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that sounds like a boomer name. Boomer alert!
Comes from Disco Raccoon.
I like the name.
Well, you should think about that. They listen from Tennessee on Spotify, and they address this to none other than Taco.
Yay!
They say, bro, I got to ask. Taco, do you rehearse being salty, or is it just a natural spiritual gift? Seems often and flows so easy for you. LOL.
Oh, it's just natural. It's
He-
part of my personality.
he's mostly
I'm overly
hateful
quiet,
anyway.
So yeah.
I'm just going to say it. The only one salty in this episode is going to be me.
I don't know if you want to pause real quick. It says ads are going to run 40 seconds.
Yeah, we can. Let me get my.
He's
my
like,
ads
yeah, I need to calm down
Yeah,
anyway.
take you a moment. Take a few breaths.
Oh, the worst is yet to come, boys. The worst is yet to come.
But anyway, was it raccoon?
Disco
Disco Raccoon. Yeah.
Yeah, Taco's always hateful.
Nah, it's just part of my personality.
That's what he says. He's just hateful.
Yeah, I try not to be, but it just comes across that way.
Did you hear how hateful that sounded? That's crazy.
Hateful. What? Don't get hateful by overpaying for video games. This episode is sponsored by Instant Gaming, the place to go when you want the games you love without the full price
But
package.
they cost too much.
Why pay $60 or more when you can snag the same game for way less?
I can
Instant
do
Gaming-
what?
Instant Gaming offers instant digital codes for PC, Xbox, PlayStation, and more, all at crazy discounts.
What?
Whether you're hunting for the latest AAA title, stocking up on in-game currency, or grabbing some old school classics, they've got it. Personally, I've used Instant Gaming to grab the latest one was actually Hotel Manager Simulator, and I love it. It was smooth, fast, and saved me some serious cash. So if you're interested to expand your library without emptying your wallet, head over to beyondthequest.com and click on the sponsors tab and Instant Gaming and start saving today. That's Instant Gaming, game instantly, save instantly.
Whoa.
I will say real quick, when I tried to do that on my phone, it wouldn't let me click on the Instant Gaming tab. It kept sending me straight to Angry Vet Nation. So be aware of that. You might need to
You
change
probably
your
clicked the
settings to
wrong.
desktop mode.
You probably clicked the
or
wrong tab.
Go to it on a computer. No, it wouldn't give me the choice. Like, it pulled it up, said Instant Gaming, and then Angry Vet Nation under it. And no matter how many times I clicked Instant Gaming, it just bypassed it and went straight to Angry Vet Nation.
Speaking of Angry Vet Nation, this episode is also brought to you by Angry Vet Nation, a non-profit on a mission to support veterans and first responders through the power of gaming and streaming. Transitioning from the front lines to civilian life isn't always easy. That's where Angry Vet Nation steps in. They help vets and first responders find purpose, community, and even careers in the world of content creation. Whether it's building a Twitch channel, learning the ropes of streaming, or just finding a place to belong, Angry Vet Nation has your back. If you're a veteran or a first responder or someone who supports them, check out Angry Vet Nation.
They sound
Follow-
awesome. How do I apply?
That's angryvetnation.org. You click the Apply Now button. The application is super simple, but beware, it does take some time to get through the vetting process because healing doesn't always happen in silence. Sometimes it happens behind the mic with a controller in hand in a community that gets it. Visit angryvetnation.org and be part of something bigger than yourself.
Whoa. Mic drop. He calmed down a little bit, and now I can see the I can see it. It's like a firecracker just got lit.
No, this one's not bad. This
Uh,
one's not bad.
Yay!
This one comes from Psalm Runner.
Song runner?
Psalm. Right.
Psalm. Yes.
Oh, like the Book of Psalms song?
Yes.
Pretty cool.
And they listen from Tennessee. They address this to.
Not another Tennessee!
And they say, Taco, I love the show and it's inspiring to see what happens when you give 4 people microphones and absolutely no plan. By the way, if Moon Pie were a D&D class, he would no doubt be a bard of accidental chaos. What do you think everyone else would be?
Huh.
That's pretty accurate, actually.
Yeah. Honestly, I've always considered Moonpie more of a cleric with musical leanings, and McMedic more of a bard because he's
That's
very
hurtful.
charismatic.
I don't know how to take that.
It means people like you easily.
Are you sure about that?
You sure about that?
Normal people like him easily. Let's put it that way. Um,
Yeah, I mean,
think
Vet
I
obviously
kinda
loves
gotta-
me.
kind of gotta go probably. What do they call that newer class from the 5th edition? It's kind of like a wizard, but their whole gimmick is they like tinker to make armor. So it's kind of like a engineer type thing. That's what I would give Napkins. He can cobble things together that doesn't make sense to people like me, but somehow it works. So
You
I'm
say
pretty good
Ninja
with
Star, huh? Ordinary can backer? Nah, says I. Ninja Star.
Yeah, I would definitely say Medic is more of the bard than Moonpie is. Moonpie is more of a musical cleric. As for myself, it's hard to say.
Napkins, you good? Your nostrils are huge.
Listen, I've already pulled up the next question, and this one's got my hands sweaty and everything.
My hands are sweaty, knees are heavy.
Knees weak, arms are heavy.
Is this the bad one?
Yeah.
This is the one he says. Quick, Vet, tell him you love him.
Tell me when y'all are ready.
Oh, I'm good, bro.
This next one comes from Silent Reaper in good old Kentucky, and I'd like to know where in Kentucky, because I'd like to have a conversation with you, good sir.
Silent Reaper.
And ironically enough, they said they don't want to be on the show. Why? You afraid of being called out? You afraid of being proved? Never mind, I digress. This is addressed to McMedic.
Yeah, this is my question. What is it?
Big thanks to McMedic for answering some of the questions last week. I
You're welcome.
especially love the part where he said he shouldn't tell people what they can or can't do. Just love them and be the light. Super inspiring.
Thank you.
It's almost like Jesus didn't tell people to repent or anything. Next week, maybe McMedic can explain how the 10 Commandments are just gentle suggestions and sin is basically just a vibe. Appreciate you, McMedic. Some of us will be over here still believing love sometimes means telling people the truth. Sincerely, a viewer who can read the red letters. I came for wisdom. I stayed because I couldn't believe someone could be that wrong and that passionate at the same time.
I think me and you have a different definition of love, sir.
So, can I address this one first?
It's
Go for
my
it.
question. Yeah, you can
Okay,
go
well,
first.
I just want to point out, clearly they're not reading the red letters accurately, or they would understand that, yes, Jesus corrected people out of love, but he very clearly also told them, quit following a law that had them trapped in bondage. There's a difference there. And when you create arbitrary rules that have nothing to do with Scripture, you're creating a law that wraps you in bondage. There's a difference between that and saying, do things, and if you feel conviction, walk away from it.
Here's my thing. Like, and I'm assuming they're talking about the whole Jordan Riley crap again. I don't know. Because I can't think of what else we were talked about. Is that all we talked about? For them to get triggered?
Here's what I think it is. Here's what I think it boils down to. Here's my 10 cents on this subject.
Not 2, 10.
I think what they're saying is that whenever you say to quit telling people what they should and shouldn't do, and just let Jesus love them, and just love them, what they're referring to, that exactly what your wife just said.
Oh, I
Bedroom stuff people didn't agree with.
figured
Oh.
it may have been when
But
you talked about how don't go to these addicts and tell them they can't come into church.
what I think is the Bible says to work out your own soul salvation,
With fear and trembling.
which tells me it is not my place unless I hear it and feel it in my spirit and soul to go to you and say, you shouldn't be doing that. That's God's place. God is the one who puts conviction on your heart and corrects you and says, no, do not do that. That is not my place unless I feel that I'm being pulled specifically to do that. It is not my place to get on here
Preach,
on a
brother!
public platform and say you should or should not do something or you're going to hell. That is the exact definition of conviction. It is not my place to convict your heart.
Right.
I digress.
He likes that word today. I'm actually not as triggered as I thought I would be. I hate that they got so angry about it. I guess more than anything, I think my biggest thing is anybody can read the red letters, but unless you're going to truly try and live by them, then it doesn't matter what you read in the first place. Because if you read the red letters and the Bible and everything, what was the most important thing that Jesus told us? To love.
your neighbor.
To love. And when you are straight up just hating on people, that's not love. I don't think I've ever seen Napkins this fired up and passionate. I love it.
My whole point of the matter is, and this is what and I could be wrong, Medic, you correct me if I am, but I feel like what Medic is saying is love the person, hate the sin.
Right.
He's not saying
Well,
that
that's.
you should.
I
you
think
should
that's
go
no
out here.
different than. So what's a big hot topic like homosexuals? They constantly go on this whole bashing thing of don't shove Christianity down my throat. God made me this way, blah blah. But then they do these big parades and everything and try and shove it down your throat because you don't accept me, blah 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 blah, and then it turns into this big thing blowing up. Just because someone says they're homosexual doesn't mean you should hate them. In fact, you should still love them. You should still be respectful to them and everything, but that doesn't mean you condone what they do.
Exactly.
There's a difference in it. And then when, for example, Jordan Riley's whole thing that got me the worst was when you have a dedicated moment in your show, not even people you're talking about, to pull up and just start naming them off and naming everything you don't like about them because of this, and this is why you shouldn't listen to them. And you were purposely bashing people and pulling them down. That's not love. That's not God. That is straight up me trying to give you more rules and tell you what you can and can't do because this is what I think and what I believe. My thing is, like you said, we seek out our own soul salvation. But everybody forgets that with fear and trembling part. Because when you're seeking out your own soul salvation with fear and trembling, that means you should be very cautious on on how you're conducting your life. And just because you feel conviction over something doesn't mean everybody else will. And everybody wants to take, well, I feel conviction over this, so it's obviously wrong, so nobody should do it. And that's where they start trying to lay out rules. And that's where you start running into these problems. And that was my whole thing about it. I wasn't going on about saying, well, the Ten Commandments are just suggestions, blah, 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 blah. Which, however, I will say they were very crafty with their comment. That was,
And I'm gonna. Add
I
this
gotta
little
give them
caveat.
props for that.
I'm gonna add this little caveat. When you first went to church, the very first time you went to church, was you a Christian?
No.
So if somebody was to come to you and say, you're drinking, you've got tattoos, you're going to hell, and you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, would you have ever come back to that church?
See, me and Taco had a conversation kind of like this not long ago. I think Because whenever you do that, you're trying to give everybody all these rules and everything they have to follow first. So then in their head, they think, I have to straighten up before I can come to God. I have to get my life in order before I can start going to church. For example, I told Taco one evening, I said, if somebody comes into a church service, and say they're a big pothead or a pillhead or whatever, and you run them off, they're never going to get help. They're never going to get where they need to be. However, if they come to church and say they go to the altar and they get saved, and then they come back the next Sunday and say they're still high or they're blown out of their head or whatever, are you going to sit there and bash them? No. You show them love.
Anyway.
You keep letting them come back, because the thing is, all of our habits and everything that we do that is not pleasing to God, when you come to the altar, Jesus wants your heart. That's all he wants. When you read the whole New Testament, the main thing about it is Jesus wants your heart. And whenever you go to the altar and say somebody like that goes to the altar and gets saved, you don't run them off. You God takes them and then starts working from the inside out, because eventually everything that I was doing that was unpleasing to God before I got saved will start changing. And that's where it comes into what I feel convicted over and what I feel like the Holy Spirit's dealing with me over. And now there are some things that I think are kind of obvious that you shouldn't be doing while you're a Christian. And dare I go into them this episode and get more hate mail for it just because somebody doesn't agree with it. But I think a lot of the things that people get so upset with, for example, like whatever this comment come from, is because people don't like getting called out for something that they want to find somebody to agree with them, just to try and find validation for them to keep doing it.
So, since they specifically wanted to point out the words in red, let's go to the words in red real quick. What was it Jesus did that the Pharisees and Sadducees got so upset about? Oh, right. He hung out with the tax collectors, the prostitutes, the gamblers, the drunkards, and all the people of society that were hated on by the
Mm-hmm.
Pharisees and Sadducees. Oh, well, if Jesus is doing that, then what does that mean when it comes to calling people out for sin? That's not our job. Unless they are a member of your church and in high standing, you don't call them out publicly.
Right.
If they are somebody who's supposed to be a pillar of that church, you go to them and you call them out on it. They still refuse, you go before the entire body and you call them out on it.
No, I do
That's
think
what the Bible tells
there's
us.
times of, like, for example, with us, we're close family, brothers, and if there's something that I think, you know, maybe I see Napkins dealing with something, and I'm like, well, I kind of feel like I should, see what's going on, mention it to him or whatever, going to him and talking to him about it. But you do it out of love, and not only that, but sometimes when you go do that, you would find out, oh, well, they're already made aware of this or that, and they already know what they're kind of going through and whatnot. So, I think the biggest thing that I took from this whole hate mail thing was they don't fully understand how to go about something with love. Because yeah, being loving somebody and telling the truth, there's a way that you do those together. But the way they're taking it is we tell them what they need to and can and can't do, and that's not out of love. That's laying out rules.
Yeah, another example we can go to, Jesus is brought before an adulterous woman that the Pharisees and Sadducees have caught in the act of adultery. There's no mention of the man she was caught with, who should have also been subject to the punishment, but they're ready to kill her. What does he say to them then? He who is without sin casts the first stone. They all leave, and then he looks at her and says, "Where are your accusers?" And she says, I see none, Lord. And he tells her, go and sin no more. That is the love of Jesus.
Not only that, but
Forgive their sin. You don't condone it, but you forgive their sin and show them love.
if you look at the story about the woman with the issue of blood,
Mm-hmm.
if you notice, it didn't mention her name.
Nope.
She was simply known as
Her condition.
her condition. That's what her identity was. Everybody knew not to have anything to do with her, and this and that. But whenever, not only did she get her healing when she touched the hem of his garment, he also named her his daughter.
Yep.
That's the love of Jesus. He didn't say, "Well, your condition is what you are." So when you look at these people that try and come to church and say, "Well, you're just a pothead," "Well, you're just a drug addict," well, no, when you come to God, God creates a new thing and creates you new from the inside out. That's your identity and everything that you should live by, and that's so that people can see Jesus living inside of you.
And to be fair, we're not saying go out and find the first meth head you can, put them up in the pulpit and tell them to preach or tell them to sing.
And that's what I was
That's
getting
not
ready
at
to
all
say.
what we're saying.
That was something I wanted to add on to this. You know, the Bible, you're supposed to use wisdom.
Yeah.
Okay? There's a difference between being knowledgeable and having wisdom.
And there's a difference in being overzealous as well.
And we said, you know, if they're coming to church, even if they're still doing these things, don't shun them and run them off. To a caveat, if they're getting up and they're disrupting service, they're trying to go behind the pulpit and they're doing things that they shouldn't do in the church house, then yeah, obviously you have to correct that. But if they're coming to church for the right reasons,
Right.
and they're coming to hear the word of God, and they feel that calling and that conviction, because let's be honest, the first time you go to church, most of the time it's because either A, you feel like you've hit rock bottom and you have nowhere else to go, or B, you're feeling that conviction tug on your heart. So they're there for a reason. So if we run them off before they have went to that altar, their blood is on our hands.
Yep. And it even says that
When you
will
do
judge
that,
as
like-
you judge others.
And I've been there where I've like went to before I rededicated recently. I've been there at moments in my life where I hadn't been going to church and I felt like I was hitting rock bottom. So I went to a church service and I've been there where you've been shunned and where you feel nothing but judgment and you're just suddenly gave rules and everything you have to follow before you can do anything and this and that. And I feel like all that does is just put a scar on you when it comes to church in general.
You know, this reminds me, I was talking to somebody recently at church, not at church, at work about church. And I'd asked her, I said, why don't you go to church? You read your Bible all the time. I see you bring it in here to work and read it sometimes. I see you taking notes. I see you highlighting stuff. Why don't you go to a church? And she said, you know, if I had $1 for every time that I'd been hurt by a church person, I'd be very rich. And she's not the only person I have heard say that.
It's sad because it does happen a lot. But at the same time, too, I think that's one thing that the devil uses to keep people from going to church. I think that's just something that it kind of. I think it's one of the things people use to also find an excuse.
Yep.
I don't know, and I think it goes back to the thing of you have to show love towards people.
Yep, and that's the thing is sometimes, yes, it is the members of a church that can hurt somebody and keep them from coming back. And sometimes it is the person themselves who just wants the excuse not to come back.
True.
That's where discernment comes in. That's where It's very important for the members of a church to know the difference between correcting somebody out of love and just being judgmental to be
And I
judgmental.
also think moments like that too. Maybe you wasn't in the right church to begin with,
Right.
Yeah,
but that doesn't mean you stop looking for a place that you feel the love of God in.
And that's pretty much the way I directed the conversation. But I mean, I just thought that that was a perfect example because I mean that shows the harm, and I've been there just like you have. I mean, I've been there myself
Right.
where I'd been hurt, and I said I'll never go back to a church.
And I think, to be honest with you, I can't remember what the name of this comment, who sent this comment. Um,
That was Silent Reaper.
to be honest with you, Silent Reaper, I would just urge you, sir, that you be more careful with how you go about conducting your words and stuff, because a lot of how that comment came across, um, it could have very well towards some, it could have very well pushed somebody away from doing what they feel like God should be telling them to do, because I feel like God has placed me on this platform to be able to stream for a reason, and I'm trying to do everything I can to give Him all the glory, honor, and praise in everything that I do. And when purposely and trollfully sending things like that, there's no love in it. Period. There's no love in it whatsoever. To be somebody that's sitting here claiming that love, sometimes love is telling the truth and reading the red letters and stuff, but yet your whole comment was nothing but to try and tear down. So I think you want to talk about being hypocritical and things, you should probably read your own comment.
I see why Napkins was so upset now, but I'm gonna keep my mouth shut because hashtag if you can say nothing else, hashtag my mama taught me better. Then your wife, go reread those red letters. That's my point here is
And
you
I
can
will
read them
say, if
all you
we
want,
handled
but if
that
you're not,
wrong, I apologize. But we are very blunt.
yeah,
But at the same time, we also try and handle things respectfully.
because remember, I'm salty.
Well, and
And you're
I'm going to
hateful.
say, just like the boomer comment, you guys only see us when we want you to see us. You don't realize our personality. You don't realize how we are outside of Dream. And this whole goofy, trying to be hip stuff that Medic does, it's most of it is comedic relief. It's not that that's how he actually is. No offense, Medic.
I am with my
It's to
children.
attack his kids. Let's be
Yeah,
honest.
let's be honest. It's to embarrass his children. But anywho, and that's
Speaking
just
of
like
which, once you get done talking, I have a story.
whenever people send us these questions, these comments, these concerns, sometimes if it's something lighthearted, like the whole tech issues question, we'll crack a joke and we'll move on. But whenever it's something that somebody is actually genuinely wanting advice or genuinely going through something, we address it extremely carefully. And in my eyes, I see it just like if I'm sitting in a church and somebody was to come ask me something. I don't want to be so harsh that I push them away from God. I want to be loving in my response that I get them back on here, or I get them on the faith-based show, or I get them asking questions, or I get them praying even, or talking to God, reading their Bible. That's my goal. My goal is to not get on here and bash people and say, "Well, I'm sorry, but you're going to hell because you listen to Brandon Lake, or you're going to hell because you watch Jordan Riley." I'm not going to do that. But I am going to give my opinion when they ask for it. I'm going to give my 2 cents and how I feel about it. But I'm not going to go out here and try and convict people either and tell them, you know, I might say, in my eyes, you shouldn't do that if you're a Christian, in my eyes, but you have to walk your own walk. My advice is to pray about it.
And also keep in mind, like a lot of the things that people are getting so butthurt over, it's stuff other people have submitted for literally our opinion to throw our 2 cents on.
Yep. Our take on it.
Yeah. Anyway, so you were talking about to torture my children?
Yep.
Last week, I went to go drop them off at school, and it was kind of a busy time in the morning where there was a lot of people getting dropped off. So I wait until all the kids get out of the truck, and I roll down the window. And there's all these kids going in, and there's like 2 or 3 teachers out there. And I'm like, see you later, you little beta bros. And they all literally stopped and froze and turned around and just looked at me. And I was like, yeah, that's right. That y'all sus. Let me cook. And one of the teachers is like, what did he just say? And Peyton goes, I should have never taught him words. And just walked away. Yeah, it was a proud moment.
All right, let's move on. And I can calm down now because I think that that's all the hate mail. But I can't. Those.
I like it when you're fired up. You talk more.
That one in particular. I mean, it was just it's been working on me.
Been working on me.
All right. This next one comes from Turbo Walrus.
Turbo Walrus.
He listens from Tennessee on Spotify.
I just imagined a really fast walrus with a rocket attached to it.
You know, I just have to point out real quick, we've been getting a whole lot of questions from Tennessee ever since Moonpie went on the rant tearing Tennessee apart.
Well, if you remember, the same thing happened whenever Cal tore apart Ohio. For like the next 3 weeks, at least 80% of our submissions came from Ohio.
True. It's almost like they enjoy it when we pick on them.
But anywho, this submission is directed toward me, and it says, Napkins, man, have you heard of Satisfactory? I know you said you like roller coaster simulation games, and it is kind of like a building game that are endless things. You should definitely look it up if you haven't. I will say I have not, but I will after
That
the show.
game is like a open world crafting game. And like you build like conveyor belts and all kinds of things, and literally you can build it however you want, however big you want, make it do whatever you want. I mean, I've seen some trailers on it. It looks crazy.
Oh, looky there. We got our first submission for Beyond the Brokenness, so I will save that one.
Root.
And it comes from Tennessee.
I do have to say, I definitely need to sit down and spend more time figuring out the Telspire thing, because I do think if we can get Moonpie a functioning computer, that would be really fun to get him in on too, and then we can find out what each of you see your D&D classes as.
He's
Wait.
processing. It says 3 to 4 weeks. We'll see what happens.
You called me a bard.
All right. This next
There's nothing
one.
wrong with that.
This next one comes from Trickster Mirror.
Trickster mirror, like a haunted house.
I guess.
Or a
They
fun
address
house.
this to everyone.
Those
And
used to
they
make me so
say,
dizzy.
I have to say, the way you all handle hate mail is great. Boy, are you going to love this episode? I was just curious what's new with everyone. Seems like a lot of times that questions take over, which is awesome, but just an update on everyone. You know what I mean?
Baseball, softball, making this stuff. And I've been trying to stream more lately. Trying to work out a schedule, which will probably be kind of like Napkins.
Moonpie is
It would be
here.
earlier in the day type deal. But I've started playing Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, which is kind of like a really fun version of
D&D on crack.
yeah. But it's fun. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Queen Buckstein!
Yeah, I got to play a little bit of that with you the other night before technical issues, and stuff like that attack both of us on our streams.
No one acknowledged Moon Pie in the chat. He blew
I
us
just
off
said
this
he's
morning.
here.
And I said, don't acknowledge him. He wasn't here to support me and comfort me in my really mean hate mail that hurt my feelings.
I got you, boo.
Feels great to wanted. I think you meant to be wanted.
I think he's still asleep. He didn't even have to go to Tulsa. He just wanted to sleep in.
Let me get a refill real quick.
What's new with me? I have been trying to stream more. Still dealing with a lot of stuff with the kiddos. Applied for a promotion at work. Probably not going to get it based off information I got this morning, but I can't get into that. They're supposed to be scheduling interviews this week, so I'm just praying about it, letting the Lord have his way. That's about it. I've purchased some games all over the spectrum. I've got some spooky games I've been streaming. I've got an ambulance simulator. I've got a motel. Listen, the motel simulator game. Oh, it's like Chef's Kiss because it has a motel on it that you have to run.
Wait, you mean a hotel simulator has a motel on it?
It's listen to me, okay? Just let me cook, bro. It's got
That's
a
sus.
motel on it that you run. It also has a gas station as well as a convenience store. So it's like taking 3 simulators and combining it into one.
No cap.
And it is so fun. I have played. Well, let's see. I downloaded it like I want to say Tuesday or Wednesday. And I already have 9 hours of playtime on it. And keep in mind, I work Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So
what you're saying is you did nothing Wednesday or Thursday but play that game.
I also go to bed at like 10 o'clock. So yeah, pretty much. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, pretty much.
But that's what's new to me.
Are you going to look into Satisfactory? I'm curious.
Yeah, I am. I'm going to look into some gameplay and
See what you think.
Last time I looked, that was because like when that game released, that was one of the pricey games. But if you've heard of instant gaming,
it's the game that'll be on thequest.com.
Just saying.
All right, so chugging right along. This next question comes from Truth Speaker.
Truth Speaker!
From Michigan, and they listen on Spotify.
Cool.
And they say, the last
Have
few
we had
episodes,
somebody from Michigan? Or is that a new one?
We've had a few from Michigan.
Oh. Why would I don't know. Napkins doesn't have a giant map behind him.
I need one, but now we've had so many submissions that I would have to start over, and it just seems like that would be depressing. Anywho, we definitely know we can mark Tennessee, Canada, and Ohio off the list for sure. Anywho, they say the last few questions seems to have been a lot of hate toward Medic for the comments about.
Tell me about it, bruh.
Not only did everyone on the show agree with him, but it was also someone asking the opinion of you all. So I really don't understand why it made everyone so mad.
Listen, y'all in Michigan are understanding it, man.
I love the realness of the show and how down to earth it is. And you all just speak it, you know? But I have to ask, is there a particular moment in your life that was a complete game changer? Like a real opened your eyes moment about anything certain? So from my understanding, it doesn't have to be like anything specific.
Who got mad? I was there last episode. You was there last episode, but you wasn't there this episode to hear my big angry hate mail.
Yeah, we keep getting hate mail over.
Napkins was fired up, Moon Pie.
Stuff.
Yeah, listen, I had a whole segment
part,
on here where I was basically screaming.
The funniest part about all the hate mail being directed toward McMedic over it is Moon Pie and I have been the ones who have went the harshest.
He said, Moon Pie said, okay, I'm here now. Let's start over.
Moon Pie and I have been the ones who have went the harshest toward these people for the things they do, and somehow Medic gets all of the hate for it.
I think it's because Vet loves me, and that's why they're jealous. You don't believe me? It's in the chat. You can scroll up. How you feeling, Amy? Feeling jealous? Vet loves me.
So, an event in our lives that was like a big moment type thing.
Biggest.
Yeah, anything in your life. It doesn't have to be related to
Right.
faith or anything. Just a big moment that was an eye opener.
When my oldest was born, he was born premature at 30 weeks. He was only 2 pounds 6 ounces. He was a tiny little thing, scared the crap out of me, and I could hold him legit in one hand. That was a big eye opening moment for me because I was like, holy crap, I'm gonna have to grow up, and I still ain't found out how to do that. So.
And he's 13 now, so
It's a work in progress. No cap.
Amy says I would say he loves me more than you guys, but honestly, I'm not so sure.
Hashtag love. Big
Netflix.
moments, fellers.
I mean, I can think of several.
We can't read your mind.
The audience can't hear your thoughts either.
Go ahead, Taco.
I'll give you that one, Medic. Hashtag jealous wife.
I would say probably everything we went through with our papa when he got sick and passed away.
That's on you guys. Stole both of mine.
That was a big moment.
That was on my list.
Our mom went through a really rough time with it. I tried to do everything I could to be there and be strong for her and strong for my brothers here.
Awkward silence.
So I'm gonna say,
Manus.
I'm gonna say becoming a father was definitely a big one. Her grandfather's death was also another big one. Moving out on my own, you know, the whole moving out and getting married. Don't remind me.
I thought you was gonna go with getting out of that marriage.
Well, I'm talking about it eye opener as far as like
Hello.
I'm talking eye opener as far as like life wasn't as bad as I thought it was.
Mander's here too.
So I'd say that's probably my top 3.
So, out of kicks and giggles, now that Moon Pie and Mander are in the chat, do you want to reread that?
Sure.
The day McDonald's got rid of the snack wrap, and the day they announced it's coming back. I bet it won't be the same.
Hashtag 9 games.
No, they've made a new, it's not the chicken select anymore. And they're now making it out of the McCrispy chicken.
Oh my gosh,
No,
have you
not
had those?
McCrispy, Not the
They've got a
McCrispy.
new
The
chicken strip altogether.
Yeah, have you had them?
It's their premium chicken sandwich. It comes in with
Oh.
pickles, or you can get it in spicy, or you can
That's
get it
the
with
devil. So after me and the wife tried their McCrispy things. One,
New, chicken strips.
they were about as thick as a piece of paper. They tasted and smelled like fish sticks. It was weird.
All right.
This is for you, Moon Pie and me.
All of our listeners, I apologize that you're going to have to reread this
Rehear it.
this troll, because that's just what it is.
Listen up, Moon Pie and Mander. You can hear my hate mail.
Silent Reaper addressed this to McMedic, and he listens from Kentucky, but he was not man enough to say where.
He's
And
getting fired up
so
again.
He was also not man enough to say that he wanted to be on the show.
Maybe
But
it's a
anywho,
she.
I digress. Or she, yeah, yeah. This is 2025. They say, big thanks to McMedic for answering some of the questions last week. I especially loved the part where he said he shouldn't tell people what they can or can't do. Just love them and be the light. Super inspiring. It's almost like Jesus didn't tell people to repent or anything. Next week, maybe McMedic can explain how the 10 Commandments are just gentle suggestions and sin is basically just a vibe. I appreciate you, McMedic. Some of us will be over here still believing love sometimes means telling the truth too. Sincerely, a viewer who can read the red letters. I came for wisdom and I stayed because I couldn't believe someone could be that wrong and that passionate at the same time.
Yet he made that comment. And Moon Pie wasn't here to have my back. And he calls himself a brother. Do what?
I am curious what their take on that will be now.
Me too, but you guys have to admit, that was... I gotta give him props. That was clever the way he done that.
Yeah, it was.
He draws you in like, oh, this is love. And then just like... It's like somebody trying to help you up off the ground. Instead, they just kick you. They just wanted to grab your hand to hold you still.
By the way, I have a work story for you.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I love your work stories.
Especially,
Especially when you're all excited like this.
they've closed down one of the ICU wings because they're remodeling.
Does this work story involve Altoids?
No.
Good.
Streamlabs stopped Mander's message because of how long it is.
I don't know how.
Okay, wait, I can pull it up on my Twitch chat on it. It says, what? We were given free will because of God being a loving God. Yes, we do provide them with the truth, but we cannot force them into anything. That's not how it works.
Oh, it shows me that.
Yeah, the shared chat. I don't know. Somebody's settings must have the long ones turned off right now.
It says it's you.
I changed that.
And it says sent from EMTaco.
It does
15.
say from you, mister. You've been called out. Back to the work story. I'm excited.
So they've closed down one of the ICU wings because they're remodeling it. And in the meantime, they've opened up the overflow wing to take place of that wing. And this is kind of where they put the patients that need to be more private. Because it's a small little wing and it's like maybe 6 rooms. So I go down there and it wasn't even my floor, but they're like, hey, I couldn't get it. Need you to go try. I was like, okay. So I go down there and it's a red card room. For people that don't know, red card means something is living on that patient, whether it be roaches, it be lice, it be bed bugs.
Ooh, hey, I can't stand bed bugs
on that patient. So I'm putting on all my gear, and the nurse comes by and she's like, "Good luck," and I was like,
"What's that supposed to mean?"
And she goes, "Well, if she wakes up, she's a little feisty sometimes." And I look, and it's a 25-year-old. And she's like 100 pounds. So I was like, it can't be that bad.
That's the ones you got to watch for. That's like a mean chihuahua.
And she's like, I'm like, what's the deal with the red card? What's she got? Let me know what I'm walking into. She's like, oh, she has lice and scabies. I was like, oh, great. Okay. So I go into this room. I get all my get up on. And like, I'm a little paranoid. So I even put like a hairnet over my beard and stuff. So I look real goofy anyway walking in there. And I go in there, and typically you can tell if a patient's gonna wake up whenever they're intubated and they're sedated. If you take off the restraint because you're kind of working with them and stuff, if they're gonna wake up, they're at least gonna flinch, they're gonna move, they're gonna do something. And she's fully sedated, she's intubated, the whole 9 yards. And I pop that restraint off, and she doesn't move. And I'm like, oh, okay, they must have, she's chilled out. I pull out my alcohol swab, and I've already found where I'm going to stick, and I'm cleaning her off real good. She still doesn't move. And I'm like, this is going to be fine. Pop that needle in her arm, and boy, as soon as I do, she goes buck wild. And I'm talking, she's throwing her body from left to right. Looks like she's having a seizure. She's throwing her knees up, and I'm like, what? And I'm like trying to hold her arm down. She still has a needle in her arm, so I'm trying to get a hold of it. And she takes her knee and flies it up as hard as she can and knocks me right in the nose. And it rocks my world, son. I'm like stuttering, falling back. I go over and get the needle out of her arm, and now she's unrestrained, and she's trying to get up to the tube, so I'm trying to hold her arm down. Knees are still coming at my head, and I'm like this backwards, and I'm like, can I get some help in here? Nurse comes in with half a gown on, and she's like, what's going on? And I was like, she's going crazy. And she goes, what can I do? I was like, well, I have a needle in my arm, and she's trying to knock me out. So she comes in and helps me get a hold of her. We put the restraint back on, and I go to the other side, and she's like, we really, really need this blood work. It's got to happen. I was like, well, you going to have to stay in here and help me. So 2 nurses come in, and one is literally laying across her legs, and the other one is laying across the upper half of her body, holding down one arm and trying to hold the other one for me. And I get the blood, and she's still throwing these nurses off. She's fighting so hard on full sedation. And then the next day, they call me again. They're like, she's a difficult, we can't get her. I'm like, okay, here we go. So I go back up there, and before I even go in the room, I'm like, I'm going to need help. They're like, no, you don't. She's off sedation. She's non-intubated, but you do have to talk to her, and she's got some issues. And I was like, oh, okay.
I'm aware of that. She's got a hard knee, too.
I go in the room, and I'm like, hey, honey, I have to get some blood. And she's automatically upset, like very obviously upset. And I'm like, I know, I'm sorry. I go over to the same arm that I got blood out of, and I look at the same spot. It's still there. It still feels great. So I take my alcohol swab and I wipe it. And as soon as I wipe it, she screams bloody murder, pulls her arm back, and was like, no, it hurts too bad. I said, that was alcohol.
It burns!
And she goes, oh, and puts her arm back out. And I was like, okay, so I stick the needle in. I didn't even tell her before I stuck her because I knew how she's going to react. Stick the needle in. She looks down as I'm filling the last tube and starts freaking out, screaming that it's killing her. And I was like, we halfway done. You didn't even know.
Yeah,
So
you should try and handle one of those in the back of a truck.
Yeah.
Truth. You got a bot in chat.
Yeah, I see it. I'm getting it.
Yeah, I've had some of them go crazy in the back of the truck, and you're fighting with them because they're trying to unbuckle, and then they roll backwards off the head of the cot, still hooked to your monitor, and they hit you between the legs twice, so then you're buckled over trying to hold on to them, and they got the side of the door open on the truck. It's crazy.
It's one of those moments where you're like, how unethical would it be for me to physically restrain a unconscious person?
That's all right though. Schizo was there, and he busted open them back doors and went. I was like, "What is that doing? That's doing nothing. You're at the wrong door."
I'm sorry,
Good
I'm
times.
fighting with
Good times.
Twitch here. It's not wanting to work. There we go.
There it went. Yeah, I enjoy your work stories.
I'm glad someone does. For me, it's real life terror, but for you, it's entertainment.
Yeah, live for it.
All right. This final Quester's question.
Unless any more submitted, I'm assuming.
Yes, comes from Fluttery Case.
What?
Fluttery Cakes.
What do you classify as a fluttery cake?
I have no idea. They listen from South Carolina on Spotify.
That's gonna mess with my brain.
And they say, guys, I'm looking for some advice.
Well, are you sure you want it?
Asked for our advice. Don't come after us for what we tell them. Okay. Okay, so this is a multi-parter. 1, I don't like being alone. LOL. hope to cope with it? Question mark. My I'm trying. I think they mean help to cope with it. Like
Or
what kind of
how?
advice? Yeah, or how. My brother was going to move in, but he has kids and said he doesn't want them to get on my nerves or in the way. I really wouldn't mind the company, but his kids have zero discipline. Second question, my streaming is getting me nowhere. I gave up at this point. I'm not sure what else to do.
Moonpie said he had a huge message typed and it wouldn't let him send it.
Yeah, I went in and checked. It's supposed to allow long messages on my side, so I don't know.
Ripperonis.
It's something with your Streamlabs.
Yeah,
Break
I
it
went
up.
into the settings on it.
Send
And
it
it's,
in shorter messages.
Or send it from one of the
It said I had over 500 characters.
oh yeah, you can probably only send 500 at a time. That's probably a Twitch thing, not a stream
yeah,
thing.
I
Yeah.
think that's a Twitch thing.
You
Okay.
should have cut it, pasted it 500 characters at a time.
Back to the question.
That was it. That was both parts. So the first part, we'll break it up. First part was I don't like living alone, how to cope with it. His brother was going to move in, but his kids have zero discipline.
Oh, that's a good point, Medic's wifey. He could just send it as a text or message to one of us and have us read it.
As far as how to cope being alone, hobbies. Find hobbies.
Yeah, hobbies. If you are a Christian and you believe in God, definitely seek Him about that as well. If you're able to, pets, they can help a lot. Outside of that, I'm not entirely sure how to do anything else. I kind of enjoy being alone most of the time. It's just me and my cats here. I
I'm
talk
going
to
to
them like they're
say
people.
He's the cat man.
everything he just said, but I'm going to add to it and say join our Discord.
Join the
That too,
Discord.
Usually one of us is always online. We enjoy interacting with people, especially fans. We find that really cool.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Usually I can't sleep, so I'm usually on there until like four or later in the morning. So
Yeah, outside of nights before going to work or usually the first night after work, I'm usually up most of the night as well.
what was the second part? I missed it.
The second part was. I'm pulling it back up. Second question. My streaming is going nowhere. I have gave up at this point, and I'm not sure what else to do.
Been there, done that this week. You got another bot, bro.
Yep.
God, that gum.
They own it. As far as the stream going nowhere, I have been there this week mainly because for some reason internet issues or power won't stay on. Blah, it's annoying. Plus, it gets kind of discouraging sometimes. Either way you look at it, because you're either trying to get followers or subscribers or anything, and sometimes it don't happen. But one thing you always have to keep in mind is nothing happens overnight. It's a process. Then I would add to it and say you also have to go into it not thinking you're going to make bank on streaming. Because Twitch has like 60 million people streaming to it constantly, and only like, I would say probably 12% of them even hit partner. So it's not like it's something that's just going to boom and just take off. However, there are some tips that I've found that do help. One, if you have a webcam, if you're not using a webcam, it does help get some viewers and followers. And then two, you want to play something that you're actually having fun with. You don't want to play something that just caters to one person because they watched your stream or something like that. You want to make sure you're having fun with what you're playing. Finding just a single game and sticking with it instead of just doing a big variety can help. Um, Sleeping Ninjas. Nightbot is great for stream moderation. Remove those bot messages in seconds. Hello, Sleeping Ninjas.
Hello.
Who's Sleeping Ninjas?
I don't know, but welcome.
Um, Also, having stuff for people to interact with on your stream. You can do the sound alerts and things. There's a lot of like widgets on the Streamlabs that I've looked at. There's like games and things that the viewers can do, and then finding like challenges to try and help with your viewers. I know one guy that I've watched. He does challenges of like eating really hot stuff if he gets so many things going on his stream, or
Try nasty drinks.
trying nasty drinks, or he writes with marker across his forehead, whatever you want him to write for the rest of the stream. I mean, doing crazy things. A lot of people will go to and watch. Uh, there's a lot of like old pros that stream, so that's where a lot of viewers go to watch things. But making sure that you're being genuine and whatnot is something that I really try and do. And then you also have to kind of look into it. A lot of your streaming is based off your personalities. Um, so if it does help, kind of thinking of it as you have to play that role or that character while you're streaming. Kind of like Napkins had mentioned earlier, a lot of how we are in person might not be exactly how we are on stream. It's just how we are on stream. So keeping that in mind could help a lot.
My advice would definitely be think about why you're streaming in the first place. If you have decided to stream just to try and make tons of money, you definitely need to reevaluate that because it's not near as easy as people seem to think it is to end up making money at it. I do it for the fun of it. I do it because I want to hopefully make a difference for somebody who joins my stream, whether it's to provide entertainment to them, say something that can plant a seed for God to start growing in them or working on them, things like that. It's not because I want to immediately make tons of money at it or anything. Don't get me wrong, it'd be awesome if I made money at it. I don't. I do it for the fun. So, definitely keep that in mind too.
My biggest thing is just have fun, man. I mean, one thing that I've started doing lately is if I want to get on and play a game and it's something that I think somebody might enjoy watching, then I turn on my stream. The other day, I was literally streaming Ambulance Simulator just because I wanted to play it, and I thought, why not stream it?
I never got a notification you were streaming that.
Yeah, yeah, I did. So yeah, it's just have fun. You know, if you're just getting on, just get on and play your game, and eventually people's gonna get on and watch.
It takes a lot of time, man.
Yep.
It takes a lot of effort putting into it. Don't get burnt out.
Yep.
All right, so
And staying consistent. That is something I struggle with.
I've got Moon Pie's response. If you gentlemen are
Oh,
ready.
do you?
Yep, go for it.
It says this is a shortened version. The problem with what Jordan Riley and guys like him, guys to the like, are doing is they have taken personal conviction and tried to make it the law of God. Then the same thing the Pharisees did when the disciples didn't wash their hands before eating, and Jesus said, "You've taken the tradition of the elders and tacked it to the law, but it's not law." Giving your opinion and encouraging others to study and pray to come away from something is different than saying because you don't like certain worship artists, if anyone listens to them, they're hell bound. Who is the judge? You or God? You don't see them you don't see them in sin to judge a righteous judgment. You see differing opinion and decided you deserve a throne instead of a crown. Chill out, homie, or you'll miss out on that too. And aside from that, Paul told us when we see a believer in sin or fall, we are to restore them, not condemn them to hell. Nobody was commissioned to go pass eternal judgment on fellow believers. We were called and commissioned to spread the gospel and make disciples. They'll know you're they'll know you're his by your love. And don't come at me with this nonsensical excuse of love is harsh. No, no, it's not. Love can be hard to hear, but it isn't harsh. It's gentle. It's kind. It does not boast. It is patient. God's love differs than man's. So stop trying to walk everyone's walk for them and concern yourself with drawing near to the Lord. Keep planting and watering seeds and let Him give increase.
Mic drop right there.
I will say I'm proud of us. That was almost exactly everything we said.
Yep.
Wow, he would have known if he had been here.
Yep.
Very well put, sir, Moon Pie. Anyways,
That will do it for the Questers questions.
the
at least for now.
questions.
No live ones submitted today.
No, sir.
They're all avoiding us after last week.
It might be scaring of napkins.
Listen, I got a little heated.
Yeah, you did. Let me add, remember what happened to the last person that tried to exalt himself to a throne? Now that's the mic drop. Well done, sir. Well done. Pew, 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 pew. Anyways. So that's all the questions.
That is all the Questers questions.
Ooh.
Okay. Taco, what's on your brain?
Not a whole lot. I'm trying to decide what I'll stream later. I know I will stream, just don't know what yet.
I'm really surprised you didn't stream something Star Wars on the 4th.
On Star Wars
yesterday?
Day, International Star Wars Day.
You should, and you call yourself a fan.
That's because before I could start streaming, I ended up taking Dado to the ER last night. So
You were home before then.
I was home before then, but I was watching the League of Legends pros play.
On Star Wars Day. And he says he's a Star Wars fan. I'm not buying it.
I'm a Cloud9 fan as well, and they were playing a best of 3, so. But they struggled hard.
Napkins!
Yes, sir.
What's being that bald head of yours?
Well, a couple things.
Okay. I'm disappointed. Well, it's Revenge of the 5th, so get on it, Mexican Caucasian.
First thing on my brain is I'm trying to decide whether or not to go to sleep after this episode. And that leads me to the second thing on my brain, which is that y'all be praying, because today's appointment for Jackson is a big appointment. This will be the appointment where they decide and we decide whether or not to start him on medication.
On medication. You know what medicine he needs? He needs a firm hand, big old dose of it, you know what I mean?
So-
Do you have to go far for that one, or is that one in town?
No, it's in town. They come up here.
Oh, really?
Yep.
That's weird.
They come up here. The counselor person comes up here once a week, and then the therapist comes up here once a month.
Interesting. Interesting indeed. So I wanted to, on my brain, that everyone hates. Who is excited for tomorrow?
I'm very excited about starting the new show tomorrow.
Like I said before, I'm gonna have my notebook and in my Bible and everything right here with me, and I'm mainly, unless I have 2 cents to throw into it for somebody to hate on, I'm just gonna help bounce the conversation back and forth and whatnot and stuff.
Yeah, that's kind of. I plan on kind of doing a similar action
It will have some more structure to it, I hope.
It
Can-
will.
Yeah, that's kind of why we've decided we'll give out the topics of the episodes at least a week beforehand so that anyone who's tuning in who wants to kind of be prepared to follow along can do their own research as well.
Now,
But it's not a requirement. If you want, tune in, hear what we have to say, and then go do your own research afterward and compare and contrast.
and I also just want to remind everybody that this series for now, and it might drop to once a month, but for now it will be bi-weekly.
Yep.
So the first episode will air tomorrow, starting at 10 a.m. And then the next episode will be the 20th, if nothing happens. You can check out all of our socials, our website, as well as our Discord, which is where we will post if something happens and we had to cancel a show.
Yes.
We also post it to the Facebook.
I said socials.
Well, I'm just letting people know.
You think that our viewers are so dumb they don't know what socials are?
Did you hear my
Well,
hay
when I
mouth
hear
comment?
When I
Sorry,
hear
that was
socials, I don't
mean.
think Facebook. I think of Instagram and
What do you think
Twitter.
Facebook
What
is?
is Facebook? It is a
Look-
social media.
Oh, no, 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 no. Let him drop his knowledge on us on what
How
Facebook
often do you
is.
Go to Facebook and be like, "Oh, I wonder what so and so's up to right now," and then go to their page and look and see if they put an update on there.
Like
the
anytime I'm
time?
on Facebook and I want to know,
never do that.
who uses Instagram?
Right?
Apparently, a lot of people. We made one. we
Well-
get a lot of,
I made one just because we didn't have one.
and we get a fair number of views on it, from what I've seen.
I can't believe you didn't think Facebook was a social.
I don't think of it as one.
You telling me
Ugh.
that if you looking for an update on a company, you don't go to their Facebook to see if they've posted something?
That's my point. That's a company. That's the way I view that. I don't view it as an actual social thing.
I'm just gonna stop.
I feel like I'm talking to Schizo. I don't know why, but I had that feeling.
Anywho,
Deep
if you was
down
not
in my
aware, it will be
soul.
on our social media platforms, including Facebook. It will not be on our YouTube.
And it will not be in the newspaper.
It will not be on our
Or-
podcasting platforms.
It will not be on TV. Or on the moon.
And it probably won't be on our TikTok. But it will be on Facebook.
Speaking of which, I did get all of our shorts uploaded to TikTok. Somebody never did.
Listen, bro. Listen.
That's McMedic with a capital M to you.
You just jealous because I'm the real alpha.
Bro.
You're beta.
Bro, that's sus. That's straight cap right there. I think I said that right.
I don't know. I know they use.
I'm so
caps
used to
somehow.
saying no cap, so I don't remember which one's live and which one isn't.
I don't know if it's all
Cap.
cap or no cap.
Cap means that it was a lie.
Oh, do you know this language?
I know some of it, and
What
that's
is-
mainly because, listen, I only know
What does
cap
skibbity
because-
mean?
I don't know. I haven't figured that one out. You know, they sell skibbity toilets in the toy aisle at Walmart.
Yeah,
I know.
According to the guys at the garage, Skibbity had something to do with toilets.
But anywho, yeah, it's skibbity toilet. That was the original thing. But anywho, I only know cap because of cap or fact from TikTok, where they test TikTok trends to see if it's real or if it's bullcrap.
That's a thing.
I've never
It
heard
used
of
to be. They shut it down.
I'm
But they
learning
would
so
test-
much right now.
They would test TikTok trends that you would see on TikTok to see if it was real or if it was fake.
it.
Like,
Why'd they shut it down?
I think they got sued.
How did they get sued for testing things that people were posting to TikTok
Honestly,
saying this is a
uh,
life hack?
Because I'm pretty sure they got sued by Mythbusters.
I missed that show.
I was going to say Mythbusters isn't even a thing anymore. They canceled it.
Yeah. They got. I'm pretty sure
They
that
got old.
they put out a statement whenever it first happened, and I think it was the Discovery Network had brought lawsuit against them, and then they sent them like an NDA, and they'd come to some sort of agreement, and so they had to take down their video explaining that they couldn't make any more videos.
That's funny.
Big corporations, man.
Yeah, it was a big thing. But anywho, yeah, that's where I learned what Cap was from watching that series. It was a big series for a long time. They I'm trying to think of it. It's all these like life hacks that you see and stuff. They would test them to see if they were real.
Yeah, I saw some videos of people testing like kitchen hacks and life hacks and things like that, and cooking hacks.
Yeah,
But
these
I didn't know it
guys
was a
started that
legit
whole.
series.
Yeah, they started that whole series.
The whole trend.
Yeah, they started that trend.
Interesting. I miss Mythbusters.
I do too. I loved that show.
I used to want to be a Mythbuster. They got to play with guns and knives and swords and all kinds of stuff. And race
Was
cars.
that one's name Adam?
Yes.
Yeah.
He has his own thing he does now.
It's not the same.
I saw some videos of them making a scale model of the Millennium Falcon, complete with lighting and everything. It was pretty cool.
How is that
He's
a
got his own
myth?
team. It's not myth busting. It's just them trying to see if they can do things. He wanted to recreate the practical effects from the original Star Wars movies because before CGI, for those who are younger, they made actual scale models of things like that and then filmed them very close up. And that's what he wanted to see if he could do. And they did a couple of things like that. I've watched some videos of that were.
Well, that
pretty cool.
sounds dumb.
Yeah, so I found the original video somebody had screen recorded. They got sued by the Discovery Network for concept breach on the Mythbusters show, and there was a settlement reached of $1.1 million. And a cease and
Wow.
desist.
That's insane.
I'm going to start it. Gonna do it!
I want to be in debt for $1 million.
Oh, that's pretty good. Anyways, anything on your all's brains?
I don't think so.
Mexican, Caucasian?
Nah, no, not really.
That's what I'm gonna call you from now on. You're no longer Taco.
Taco
You're-
sandwich.
You're MC.
I mean, everyone at work, even the people at the garage, all agree that if you put me with any ethnicity for about 5 minutes, they'd forget which one I am. I thought that was pretty funny.
Oh, to all of our people that do check out the website, Chad just messaged me. It will be going down. Chad,
I
buddy,
didn't
you
know
can't
it
tell me
was
that
up.
The websites. You can't tell me that the websites are going down, and then not tell me when they're going down or for how long.
What, the Beyond the Quest website?
Yes.
Is there any update on the Slim Chance Gaming website?
He's typing.
Chad. Oh, Chad.
Slim Chance Gaming website still has a long way to go. He says Beyond the Quest
Okay.
website will be down tomorrow. No, that will not work, Chad. You need to change that, please. That's whenever Beyond the Brokenness starts, and I will not have a website be down during the show.
He will not have it. I heard that.
How dare you?
Don't make me get fired up again.
Listen, Chad, now is not the time. Yeah, we've already had Napkins fired up twice, actually. Tell him, Napkins. I will not have it down.
I will say we don't have any kind of idea yet of how long episodes of Beyond the Brokenness will be. I kind of expect the first episode to be relatively short in comparison to episodes going forward.
It could be
Because,
30 minutes. It could be 3 hours.
Yeah,
Because,
Moonpie likes to talk.
well, the first episode with the topics we chose as an introduction, I don't foresee them being something so in depth that we have to spend, 2 hours explaining them.
Well, maybe I have some extra things to throw at you all. You don't
Okay.
know.
It is a possibility. I'm just saying that I don't foresee that with the first episode, but I do imagine other topics after that getting deeper and deeper to where it does require.
I know
more
where
time.
his anger's coming from, Napkins.
Where?
Because Bet loves me.
So, that is a good point. Thank you for reminding me, Chad. I just want to let everybody know there is a section now on the website under the contact button where you can fill out a form for Beyond the Brokenness. But note, this is the caveat. There
What
will
caveat?
not be a section like Quester's Questions on the new show. We will address questions if we have time, but it might be a short little segment. Um, that's more for if you have topics that you want to see come to the show. That's where you would submit those.
And if you submit a topic that we dive into, we'll give you a nice little call out.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will say we did get one submission, and it's not really like a topic. It is a question, I believe. Let me. Yeah, it is just a question. So if it's a short little question that we can answer kind of relatively quickly and not something we have to make a whole episode out of it, that's fine. We will get to those, but I just want to point out there's not going to be an entire hour-long segment dedicated
Right.
to questions.
The only side segment to the show will be if we had mentioned before about letting Moon Pie do his little side segment about how biblical events and nowadays type deal.
Okay.
Right.
So the website beyondthequest.com will be down on Wednesday at 6 p.m. until midnight.
How'd you do that? It's like you cracked a whip and Chad listened. How'd you do that?
It will be down from 6 p.m. Until midnight as Chad works on updates to not only our malware software, but also we're going to make some updates since we now have the new show. We'll be making it's still going to be on beyondthequest.com, but there will be a button you can hit that says Beyond the Brokenness, and you can read all about that show.
It's like a new tab and everything.
Yeah, we're going to add all that on Wednesday. So Wednesday from 6 p.m. until midnight Eastern Standard Time, give or take maybe an hour or two, depending on how long it takes us. That will be unavailable.
You know
Yeah.
what? I was kind of sad there was no questions where I got to say anonymous.
I appreciate it because my brain is mush after work.
You were so fired up, I bet you would have had good names.
To go back to the questions thing for Beyond the Brokenness, on the rare occasions where an episode will be relatively short, if we have questions that have kind of accumulated that we haven't addressed yet, we might do a segment that lasts more than just a quick, this is the answer to that type of thing. But don't expect it to be like it is here on Beyond the Quest. It'll be kind of rare for us to actually devote more than a few minutes to questions.
And I know the
However,
question's already going to come in. But Napkins, I have a question for Moon Pie. Well, he has a button on Beyond the Quest where you can address it specifically to Moon Pie. And whenever he is on Beyond the Quest, we will read it and allow him to answer.
Quester's Questions is like my favorite part of Beyond the Quest now.
It is mine too.
I just like, because you never know what you're going to get, and you never know when Napkins is going to be fired up.
Yeah, despite a lot of those being hate mail today, I enjoyed them.
You just wanted a reason to be hateful.
I wish that we had one person who wants to be a keyboard warrior and submit this hate mail to actually hit that button that says, yes, I want to be on the show. Just one. Just one.
Or just one
Make my day.
one person that submits a question that wants to be on the show. I don't think we've ever had one.
No, not yet.
Not yet, but they will come.
There will be a day. Or or even if somebody wants to submit a question and put their email in, so that we can chat a little bit. That would be cool too. It doesn't have to be a hate person. It can be a cool person.
It could be a cool person.
That's how we got to know the wonderful Super Mario cousin, which I don't think he's here today, so maybe he's not so wonderful.
Don't you talk about Mario that way? Which I know on the stream the other day he had popped in, and his wife is officially getting released on her own into the nursing world.
So, are they married yet, or is it still his fiance?
Well, I just assumed. I don't know.
I don't think they've had a wedding yet, but I don't know.
I don't know. Did we ever get that posted to the website?
What posted to the website?
Clip of us helping them propose. That was a big Beyond the Quest moment.
I mean, all the episodes are on our website, so
You didn't post the clip.
I did not post the clip. You're right.
There's no picture of me riding a duck either.
No, there's not.
Napkins is dropping the ball.
He can yell at Chad and tell Chad what to do, but nobody's yelling at him telling him what to do. I try, he just don't listen.
Well, I mean, would you listen to yourself?
Well, I told you to upload stuff to TikTok for a long time. You never did. I just had to do it myself.
Do you know how often I get on TikTok?
Probably as often as I do.
Very rarely.
Sounds about right. I get on this other social called Facebook more.
You're right. I do too. Facebook Reels is where it's at.
Yeah, I had to throw that out there. Okay. Any last things on the brains before we wrap it up, fellas? Let the crickets chirp.
Nope.
Napkins is topping. Something.
I'm topping the Chad.
Oh.
It's just Chad. We can continue.
I do want to mention this again and show this off again because I'm so proud of it.
What? Oh,
Crickets! Alright, check it out. If anybody missed it. Slim Chance Gaming. You got proudly sponsored by Angry Vet Nation on this sleeve. By Frontline Faithwear on this sleeve. Bam! Beyond the Quest. Pow!
Pretty nice shirt.
Anybody that is interested and does want a shirt, until the Frontline Faithwear website is up and going, you can reach out to me or Napkins. Just keep in mind the color of the shirt is what the color of the lettering is in this. So anybody that would be interested, reach out and we will get you hooked up. We can ship and everything. It's crazy.
Chad says it's just Chad. Hurtsburg.
Mario's been here, but Twitch had him blocked again. Bro, what is with you and Twitch? Not married yet. Trying to balance my shirt here. There we go.
So I'll give all my shout outs. Check out beyondthequest.com, where you can snag a discount code on any major game by clicking on sponsors and instant gaming. You can also click on sponsors and Angry Vet Nation to learn about that wonderful organization who takes care of veterans and first responders who want to break into the world of streaming or podcasting.
Yeah.
You must be a veteran or a first responder to apply. On beyondthequest.com, you can also check out our blog.
Angry Vet Nation.
You can contact us with the contact form and submit questions and topics for this show, as well as Beyond the Brokenness, which airs tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join our Discord and hang out with us because we're average.
Yay, we're average!
Yay!
Oh. Well, I'm glad Mario made it last minute. Well, I mean, he's been here. He just couldn't talk because Twitch hates him for some reason.
Yep.
It's Chad Hurtsborough.
I'm sorry, Chad, but
He's not sorry.
Not in
you
the
kind of rubbed me
slightest.
the wrong way whenever you was like, I'm shutting the website down during your show. It's premiering.
Get over it, man.
Jerk.
Napkins is kind of taco mode salty today. Apologize. See? Salty.
Hashtag salty.
Too much time around taco. Telling you. Yeah, anybody wants a shirt? Let me or Napkins know. We'll get you hooked up. Their Frontline Faithwear website is still in the works. And then you can get on there and order all kinds of stuff and goodies.
Indeed.
And hopefully once the Slim Chance Gaming website's up and going, you can get merch on there.
You want to talk about me not doing stuff? Let's talk about Chad for a minute.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
How
Let-
long?
he's fired up.
Let's
how long
talk
has it
about
been
Chad.
Since the website has been in construction, Chadrick.
Construction takes a long time. You ever been on the Mountain Parkway? I'm trying to have you back here, Chad. You better save yourself. It's heavy.
Just a quick reminder as well.
Does Chad have like a team that works under him?
I don't know.
Just a quick reminder, we do have the challenge going to make mediocre moon pie perform Temu Christmas. That's to get my channel to affiliate status. Need more people watching on a stream.
He needs a better personality. It's too salty.
That was cold.
Just saying. Yes, I do. Napkins is technically one of them. Oh, so you just don't tell
Chad,
you just don't
am
tell
I-
your team to work
I
on the
tell you what to
websites.
do and you listen, but I'm one of them. Am I?
Wow.
What I'm hearing is he just doesn't tell his team to work. It's okay. I see what priorities are now, not us. He's got a point. Rip.
Anywho, check out our socials, including our Facebook. It was a social.
Sorry, Dad.
I don't know if he was talking to me or Vet. That's the bad part.
Can it be both?
It's okay, Chad. Vet loves me. I think you, Napkins. That's great. That's great. Must be nice that he loves you. Bro, I can't
All I
help it.
can say is their meeting must be over.
You just gotta, not be salty. Do the work. Do the work. Anything else, fellers, for wrap it up? Close her down.
I don't think so.
Don't forget to check out all the socials. Facebook is a social. Taco didn't know that. You can check out the website when Chad doesn't have it down. And when Chad gets the other websites going. Do better, Chad. Napkins can get heated. It's true. We saw it. We lived it. It was worth. Until next time. Love y'all. Jesus loves you more. Bye!
From the first light to the game's last stand, we're chasing truth with controller in hand. Faith, adventure, stories untold. First responder, hearts brave and bold. Beyond the quest, where the journeys meet. From the fires of life to the gaming heat. Slim Chop's crew, come join the ride. With McMedic, Napkins, and Taco as your guide. Beyond the quest, where the journeys meet. From the fires of life to the gaming heat. Slim Chop's crew, come join the ride. With McMedic, Napkins, and Taco as your guide. Beyond the quest, where the stories grow. Faith, fire, and games in the world we know. Adventure calls, the table is set. Let's take the leap, our best quest yet.